Mindful Life Practice community.
What pose do we want to start our practice in? Let's come into a child's pose. We're going to rest onto our knees and bring our toes together and then shift our hips back on our heels. You know what? I wasn't going to play music today, but I just feel like I'm in a bit of a mood for music. So 1 second. So as you arrive on your mat and in this shape and in this practice, can you reconnect your awareness towards your breath? I think everyone can kind of agree that the world is feeling a little bit heavy right now. It feels like what we're going through is going to last forever. We have virtually no control. Unfortunately. And I think the most common things human beings struggle with is a tendency to live in the past. And that can create feelings of regret or sadness or even depression. Or we might have a tendency to live in the future, and that can create feelings of anxiety and worry and stress. And the only real place where life happens is this moment right now. That is all that there is. Now, when yoga teachers would tell me to just be here now, I would get really confused. I was like, I don't really get it. And all I'm saying when I invite you to be here now is to focus on something about the present that helps you connect to the present. Because if your mind is thinking about the present, it can't be thinking about the past or the future. So if you're connecting to the sensation in your body, that's the present. If you're connecting to the sensation in your breath, that's the present. If you're focusing on the sounds of my voice or the music, that's the present. Even if you hear your kids fighting in the background or your dog barking, that is also the present. And those things can be really annoying, but they can bring you here now. So you can also focus on them. But I invite you to hold on to whatever helps you be in the present. And if you find your mind spiraling or wandering away, you just compassionately and non-judgmentally just say, come back. That's it. And then you start again. Taking one more breath in this child's pose. And then let's move with our breath. So inhale, come up to your table. And then exhale, go back to your child's pose. And then rhythmically move. Inhales and exhales. So something else that I think yoga teachers didn't explain to me very well when I was young, or maybe I just, didn't understand, is that the cornerstone of mindfulness is compassion. That's the most important thing. So you need to show up in the present with compassion towards yourself. Let's do one more. And then come all the way up to a table. And then we'll just do cat-cows. So when I was trying to practice mindfulness, I would get really, really mad at myself and really judgmental towards myself when I was thinking about other things, which was like basically always. And that's like basically the worst way you can practice mindfulness. Let's do one more. Come into neutral and then tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back, down dog. So basically what it's asking you to do, bend one knee and then bend the next, is to forgive yourself if your mind wanders away. Right? Forgive yourself for getting annoyed. Forgive yourself for being bored. Forgive yourself for whatever you're feeling and experiencing. Leave your left foot where it is. Let's lift our right leg up. And then draw the right knee in. Step the right foot between the palm. Nice. And then just come forward and back. Rocking forward and back. Good. Mom, now that you're in a different room, I sometimes am like looking for you on the screen. I'm like, where did my mom go? Did she leave? But it's because for literally a year, she was doing yoga in our living room, and now she's actually in my bedroom, which I should automatically recognize. But for a moment, I couldn't find you on the screen. Okay, let's come into stillness. And then place your right palm on the inside of your right foot. Wiggle your right foot wide. Good. And then land onto your left knee. Nice. And now what you're gonna do is leave your left palm where it is. Push your right palm into your right thigh. Gaze over the right shoulder and then just stay. I think we're gonna make this Vin Yin a bit more gentle, a bit less vigorous, because that's kind of been my mood. I hope you guys don't mind. Take one more breath. And then can you take the knee all the way through center, wiggle the foot in. And then you're gonna land your right palm on the outside of the right foot and then just walk your fingertips back. Good, so now you're in a little bit of half Ardha Chandrasana. If it's hard to reach the earth, you can have your blocks, because we are gonna do a tiny bit of flowing. We're just gonna be coming forward into a low lunge and lifting our arms up. And then landing our palms either on the earth or the blocks and lifting the toes. And then move with your own rhythm. And also, if flowing does not feel good for you, then you don't even have to move at all. You can just stay in one or the other. We had this really amazing teacher working with us, Rowan, who lives in Kuwait. We used to work together. And she, after lockdown, she works full-time as a spin and yoga instructor. So she's a bit too busy to be on our platform at this point. But anyway, one of the key things about her class was that she did a lot of this, which is repetitive movements. And when we get into the repetition, it's almost like, you know, the waves of the ocean just coming back and forward and back and forward, and you can fully let go, or at least that's what I found. So maybe just doing one more. And then let's land in the forward fold. And then just hinge there for a few moments. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. And if you have yoga blocks, you're gonna walk them to the side. You're gonna tuck your left toe, lift your left knee, firmly plant through your left palm, and then lift the right arm up. So you're once again coming into a low lunge twist. And you should feel this strong in your hip flexor. Nice, just staying for 3, for 2. And then on 1, you're gonna step your right foot all the way back, coming to a side plank. You can do some scoops with the arm, breathing it up and back. And then just doing 1 more. Before landing your right palm into a full plank, and then shifting your body through a flow. And then lifting all the way up and back to a down dog, stepping your feet in. Taking deep breaths in and out. And then let's go the opposite way. So your left leg lifts. And then you pull your left knee in and you're gonna step your left foot between your hands and then just walk your left foot to the side, come onto your right. Oh, I lied, sorry. Keep your foot up, your knee up for a second, and then just do rocking forward and back. Nice. So something I posted about on my story today. And now we're gonna take the left palm to the inside of the left foot and land onto the right knee. And now push the left palm into the left thigh and open. So I was telling you guys earlier in Coffee and Friends about this new series, which I love, Modern Love. And in the episode that I watched today, this couple falls in love in a grocery store. And I posted about how when I watched it, I literally started feeling like emotional and grief. Because like, who has fallen in love in a grocery store in the past year? Like probably literally no one in the entire world. Because we're supposed to be 6 feet away from strangers. Take your left hand back down. Walk your left foot in. And then we'll lengthen over the left leg. And if you want to use blocks, go for it. Moving again with your breath to be lifting up into a low lunge. And then shifting back into your half forward fold. Anyway, I don't know about you guys, but I was thinking like, I don't know why we don't have any romantic comedies yet about the pandemic. Like that would be great TV. Like people who fell in love but were suddenly stuck together for 8 months and barely knew each other. Someone who went to visit someone on vacation and then ended up stuck there. Or like, you know, what about having a new boyfriend but being not in their bubble? And so you never see them and you speak on video chat for months. Like I want to watch those kind of TV shows. Just feels like that is like kind of our norm now. Taking 1 more, lifting all the way up, and then reaching your palms forward and lengthening the leg and just staying, breathing, just being with it. And then can you take your blocks to the side? If you have them, bend through your left knee. Just firmly plant through your right palm, tuck your right knees, lift your right knee, and lift your left arm up, just being in this low lunge twist. And then let's move into our side plank, stepping all the way back, keeping our arm up overhead, doing some sweeps up and under. Just doing 3 more, 2 more, and then 1 more. Before landing the left palm, coming through a flow, lifting all the way up and back to your down dog. And we're gonna do one more of these types of standing flows. So lift your right leg up, three-legged dog again. And then draw your right knee in and step your right foot between your hands. And this time we're gonna land on the left heel and come all the way up into a warrior one. Okay, so from our warrior one, we're gonna be doing the same type of mindful movement. So inhaling with the arms extended. And then when you exhale, you're gonna hinge forward over the lengthened leg. And if you do wanna have blocks handy, framing your foot, that can be helpful if it feels like it's a long distance of reach. And when you do hinge over the right leg, can you have a little micro bend in the knee? Maybe just taking one more. Again, landing over the right leg. Hinging your heart and just breathing into this stretch. One more breath. Sliding the blocks to the side. Let's lift all the way up. We're just gonna take one balancing pose, yeah? Coming into a warrior three, trusting weight onto your right foot as you kind of float your left leg. Nice, just staying there for three, for two, and then on one, come all the way up to stand with your left foot. Place your palms at heart center. Close your eyes or just settle your gaze. Side. So inhale your arms up. Exhale it into a fold. Breathe your halfway lift. Exhale your way back down. Step back. If you do want to take a flow, go for it. Can you lift your left leg up? Bend your left knee, step your left foot between your palms. Land onto your right heel. You do want to have your blocks handy, go for it. Lifting all the way up to your warrior one. And then just flowing with your breath. Maybe moving through one more. forward. And then just using gravity to pull you into this pose. Letting your head and heart angle. One more breath. And then just bending through the left knee, lifting all the way up. Bringing your palms into your heart center or alongside your hips, whatever you prefer. As you lengthen your right leg, find your balance. Nice. Knowing that you can use anything around you to support you. Just stay for 3, for 2. Nice, and then 1 to come up all the way. Taking an inhale, lift your arms up. Taking an exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, lower. Take your feet a little bit wide now. You're gonna have your heels in and your toes out, and you're gonna sit your bottom back and come into a squat. Pushing your palms together. If this is hard for you, you can be sitting on a block. If your heels are lifted, you can roll up your mat or place a cushion underneath. Just kind of make the pose work for you. One of the last yoga classes I taught prior to the lockdown it was actually really fun. I was asked to teach yoga to a bunch of preteens. And the reason why was because it was a tennis tournament and it stormed in Abu Dhabi, which basically never happens. And they didn't have a rain plan. So my friend called me the morning of and was like, can you come teach yoga to these kids? And I was like, okay. Anyway, I had the kids all come into this pose. And there was this one chatty girl that kept shouting out, you know, they're 13, they don't understand the culture of a yoga class. This girl shouted when we were all in this pose. She was from India. She goes, Miss, I have something crazy to tell you. In India, this is how we use the bathroom. And it was like so funny. And my friend was like, I've just never walked by a yoga class where everyone is just like hollering with laughter. And that was us. Miss moments like that, for sure. You guys are all silent and I never know if you're laughing at my jokes. Take one more breath in your spot. Nice work. Successfully held you there for 2 minutes. We're gonna lift up. And now we are just going to come onto our knees. Now we're gonna take a hero pose, which is gonna stretch your quads, because I know Lindsay has made this request since she's doing a 21-day spin challenge. So we're gonna do some quads. Now, this is the first option. If you cannot quite sit right on your bum between your heels, you can come onto a block or a book if you have tight quads, if you're doing a spinning challenge, or if you're like working out a lot now. If this is not suiting you at all, if your knees are really like screaming in pain, you can do a regular old quad stretch. I think you guys know how to do that on your back or standing. And if you do want to come a little bit deeper into this pose, you might start to come back on your hands and maybe back onto your elbows, knowing that if you come all the way down onto your back, I'm not going to be able to reach over and help you up. So pick a variation that's sustainable.
And I'm not gonna hold you here for the entire 3 minutes because that feels cruel, but I will hold you for maybe a minute and a half. And then we'll get into some nice and deep hamstring stretching. Wandering away from this moment, you know what to do. Just invite it to come back. The key word there is invite it. Don't enter into a war with it. It's a practice in compassion, after all. Let's give it about 5 more breaths. The 5th breath, come all the way up. And then just slide your knees around so that you come into a bit of a crisscross. Maybe placing your hands at heart center, closing the eyes, or settling the gaze. Just taking some deep breaths and feeling the effects of that. Now we're gonna make our way onto our backs, and you're gonna grab your yoga strap, and if you don't have a strap, you can use whatever you have at your home. You're gonna come all the way down and start by hooking your right foot with the strap. You want to have a micro bend with your knee, and you might lengthen your left leg. And I want you to make this as soft and as gentle as possible because you're going to be here for 3 minutes. You don't need to be striving to get a deep hamstring stretch. That's not the point. So just be gentle with it. Now, can you start to open your right leg over to the right? This is an inner groin stretch. If it feels quite heavy or feels quite intense, you can always bring a block underneath your leg. Allow the gravity to create expansion. Start to lift our right leg up. And then just gently slide the right foot over and across the body towards the left. So this is going to create an IT band stretch. And then you could open your right arm and gaze over the right shoulder, incorporating a spinal twist as well. Let's stay here for about 5 more breaths. you take your right leg all the way up. And then just release the right foot. Let your whole body be heavy. And then just feel the difference from the right side compared to the left. And then take your strap, hook it around the left leg. Extending the left leg up, knowing that we are going to be here for 3 minutes. We were talking earlier about life pre-lockdown. Some of the concerts we went to, some of the trips we've been on. You know, some of the things that we're glad that we did. I was reading a poem the other night where we talked about, you know, who we want to become when this is over. And I wonder if there's anything you want to change when this is over. Any things you want to do differently. I talked to someone this week who told me they always had a dream of traveling to one particular country, but it just always felt too far, too much planning, too expensive. And now that they're on lockdown, they realize that it's actually not that far. It's one of the first things they want to do when restrictions change. Let's take our left leg over to the left. Opening up into the groin stretch on this side. Maybe there's things that you realized about the way you were living. I know I had a huge epiphany about commute time and was I actually working the job that I wanted to for the rest of my life? And I think people are having real shifts around, you know, their thoughts or the way they interact with the world. I wonder if there's anything like that on your bucket list or on your to-do list. Let's take our leg all the way up. And then we're gonna pass the strap into the right palm and then just take the left leg over to the right and open our left arm. Stay there for about 5 more breaths. And then can you take your left leg all the way up? Now we're gonna do one more thing before we drop into our Shavasana because I'm addicted to it right now. You're gonna take your block. If you don't have a block, maybe you have a book. And if you don't have either, you could give your neck a little self-massage, okay? But if you do have a block, you're gonna place it on an angle until it's hitting the occipital ridge, which is the base of your skull. And then you're just gonna rock your head side to side until you find some sweet spots. Now, Jules was telling me the other night that this is massaging our vagus nerve, which is connected to regulation for a lot of us, connected to our mood, connected to our stress levels, which makes a lot of sense because for some reason it magically makes me feel better. So feel free to linger on any spots that need lingering. And then eventually when you feel satisfied with that, you're going to remove the block and come all the way down onto your back, having your hands face up, having your heels grounded, having your toes droop away. allowing your whole body to be heavy. Sending a deep breath in and a deep breath out. I want to share with you this poem, which you probably heard, went viral in March. I read it in my yoga classes. I'm pretty sure I cried a few times when I read it. It's called A Poem of Hope by Laura Kelly Finucci. When this is over, may we never again take for granted a handshake with a stranger, full shelves at the shops, conversations with neighbors, a crowded theater, Friday night out, communal prayers, a routine checkup, school rush each morning, coffee with a friend, the stadium roaring, each deep breath, a boring Tuesday, life itself. When this ends, may we find that we have become more like the people we wanted to be, we were called to be, we hoped to be, and may we stay that way, better for each other because of the worst. This is my fight song, take back my life song, prove I'm alright song. My power's turned on, starting right now, I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song, and I don't really care if nobody else believes. I've still got a lot of fight left in me. Give your fingers and toes a little wake up wiggle. Running a big stretch through your body. Taking your knees into your chest, giving your body a tight little squeeze. Acknowledging yourself for trying to be here now, It is the trying that is the important part. The succeeding does not matter. And then start to make your way up to your crisscross shape. Bringing the palms in the heart center. Closing with our intention. And it's that our yoga practice stays here for us as a bit of a lighthouse that we can come back to and return to when it's needed. And that our effort that we put into this practice has a healing ripple effect through not just ourselves, but all of the people in our circle and all of the people in their circle, and so on and so forth. May we all be happy and healthy and free, and may the thoughts and actions of our lives contribute towards this. So let's finish with an Om. We're going to inhale and exhale. Inhale through to make the Om. So a big breath in. Big breath out. Breath in. Om. Thank you so much for sharing the space and the practice. The light in me, it sees and it honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me, yogis.